Hello, gorgeous. I am back today, and today we're talking about how your attention is contagious. So, are contagious on an individual level and on a global level, as a collective, as a cultural level, is very contagious. And we actually now know this from all of the brain science and studies that have been done in anthropology, neuroscience, and all of these different beautiful disciplines, that groups of different cultures actually have different wirings in their brain because those cultures tend to focus on and notice different things. So this is quite fascinating, because have you ever wondered why is it that certain people always tend to notice the negative thing, right? Like they have been trained to notice the glass half full. They have been trained to notice how everything is going wrong, while other people are trained and wired to notice the things that are going right. And so I want to give you 3 different kind of journal prompts to work on. And this is not just, maybe this is going to be one journal session for you, maybe multiple, but here's 3 different journal prompts just to get your juices flowing. Number 1, what do I spend time focused on? And what I mean is, like, what are you watching? What are you consuming? What are the types of thoughts that you think? If you spend a lot of time on social media, then you are being conditioned one way. You're spending your focus where you're like not so much in control, and you're in control of all of the marketing and all of the billion-trillion-dollar industry that's like taking away our attention, right? Like, so that's what you're wired for. If you spend a lot of time watching the news, for example, then you're wired to notice all the things that are going wrong with life and all around, right? So what do I spend most time focused on is one journal entry. Number 2 is, what is the general trend of my culture? Okay, so as a whole, what is my culture, where I live, my family, my tribe, my inner circle, my friends, the media that I consume, the channels that I follow, or social media platforms? What is the general vibe? Like, are people always complaining? Are people nice and friendly? Are people optimistic? So what's the general culture? What is their focus on? And then the third and most important question would be, the first 2 were just basically raising your awareness. And the third is, what do I want to be focused on? This is important because whatever you focus on rewires your brain, and it activates certain genome. So I've talked about in my previous video, epigenetics. This is a topic that I've been interested in quite some time. When you combine epigenetics with anthropology and evolution, you get this very potent 1, 2, 3 punch of information, and kind of like a zoomed out knowledge of how the world works and why certain groups succeed in certain aspects and others don't. And so one of the things that I want you to become aware of is that whatever you're focusing on is literally changing your genome. It is changing what parts of your genes are being expressed and what lay dormant, and it is wiring your brain. Okay, that's why when people come into my field in my YouTube channel or my programs, they start noticing more positive things, and then they start experiencing more positive things. Why? Because they're expressing different genes now because of the journaling work, the inner work prompts, the meditations, the affirmations, the habit change. So that's literally you rewiring your genome. You're changing your genome to express the parts that you want to express, and put dormant the parts that you don't want to, right? Like, you don't want your brain to be hyper vigilant in thinking of doomsday and all the things that are going wrong. You want your brain to be more optimistic and in coherence and feeling good, so that you can start attracting the things that you want to attract. So these 3 questions will really help you get started for 2022 and start focusing on the things where you want to put your attention. And the truth is, like, it's not our fault, but our culture, the way that it's set up right now, is where our attention is hijacked, right? We go on our phone to check an email. 40 minutes later, we're like scrolling Facebook, and we don't even know what happened. Like, what happened between I'm just gonna check my email and then 40 minutes lost, is that there is behind the screen, there is a very large industry that's spending very large amounts of money in hijacking your attention and your focus, right? And so just because it's not your fault doesn't mean it's not your responsibility. It is our responsibility to reclaim our attention, because that is what is changing our genetic history. It's changing our literal DNA, right? So the homework assignment I want to give you, two things. One, if you haven't already, go ahead and sign up for Alchemy and Ascension, which is my New Year intensive, where I will be going deep into these concepts and how you can really become aware of your focus, your attention, your DNA, based on what you want to express, right? There's no right and wrong. There's only what kind of a lifestyle do you want to have. So sign up for Alchemy and Ascension. There is a payment plan. You save some money by paying in full. And this intensive is actually bonused in for the members that want to work with me in a full 6-week group intensive aligned as femme. So if you have the aligned as femme, or you buy that, then the Alchemy and Ascension is bonused in for you. The second piece of homework that I want to give you is to reset your focus and attention. And the best way to do this is spend unfocused time in nature, okay? So this can simply mean you're gonna put away your phone, you're gonna turn off the TV, get rid of like those get rid of the containers of focus where you are not in control, okay? So I'm talking about the TV and the media and the social media, all that stuff. Put away that stuff. Crack open a window or go outside and let your senses become calibrated to your animal senses, right? Like, so being able to hear the birds, being able to feel the wind, being able to feel the soil underneath your feet, being able to taste all the sensations that life has to offer without the distraction of watching TV while you're eating. And so just think of yourself as part of the animal kingdom, and that you're allowing your senses to become their normal animalistic state. And at first, what you will notice is that you're not very sensitive to this anymore, because we've been overstimulated with these artificial medias. And so start becoming your natural senses to become normalized and not so hypervigilant or overstimulus. And you'll notice that first you'll notice the birds, and then you'll notice the different birds, and then you'll notice how many different birds there are, and then you'll notice how the wind feels on your skin, and how different foods, natural foods, not hijacked foods like junk foods, but like natural foods, the subtle flavors and the subtle smells of life, right? All the smells, like the whole experience. And let yourself be immersed in this very animalistic, very human part, so that we're like desensitized from all of this overstimulation. This is like that. You can do this for 30 minutes to an hour a day, and just kind of reclaiming your senses back, reclaiming your attention and your focus back, okay? So I hope that this was useful to you. Remember that the Alchemy and Ascension Intensive is happening on January 22nd. Link is in the description box, and I'll see you in the next one, babe. Bye.